Hey everyone, Stepan Salmatin here. So, when I was around the age of 18 to 19, I was deeply dissatisfied with my life. Very angry, just very furious at everything and everybody because I wasn't in the place that I wanted to be at. And partially, I guess it was my fault. Um, yes, I was very young, but also, you can start to do a lot of things when you're young. Like you can start working at 16, especially with computers and access to all this knowledge nowadays. Like you can do a lot. Now, I used to be very mad at the situation that I was in. And I remember it like that was I kind of been in that state for like 4 months, maybe 5 months. Just it was just this like extreme state of just deep dissatisfaction, just every day deeply dissatisfied with everything. And then I remember I was like, okay, I'm gonna read books. I'm gonna learn about other successful people and how they have made it. And when I stopped looking at the influencers and the YouTube and the motivational videos, I remember I read Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography. And it was either his autobiography or his other book where he was talking about like how he came to America and how he saw everything. And I remember just listening to the audiobook with his thick German accent. And I was like, and it just felt real, right? The way that he was talking about Gold's Gym and how he came and he was doing construction. He said like, when I came to America, I had to make money somehow, right? And so, in order to make money, I would, me and Franco Columbu, this was Arnold speaking. He said, me and Franco Columbu, we started a concrete pouring company, and we would come to the client's house, and then he would say like 6,000. They're like, oh, can you do 4,000? He's like, okay, let me talk to my partner. He goes back over to Franco Columbu, and they start yelling at each other in German, and then he's like, oh, I could only get you 5,000. And they're like, okay, great, and like listening to all of that and how positive he was, about all of it was just so refreshing because I remember I was working construction and I was actually like deeply unhappy about the place that I was at. And then I heard him talking about like how he ran his company for like 4 or 5 years. And I think at that point I was in construction for 3 years. It wasn't full time though. I started at a very young age. But yeah, and so I've been in construction for quite a bit, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't want to do this. And hearing him talk about it, and then seeing where he actually went, and seeing the fact that he started, doing construction, and he eventually left and became the biggest bodybuilder of all time. Like still to this day, he's the icon. Like it's Arnold. Like nobody even needs to know his last name. Nobody knows how to spell his last name. They just say Arnie, Arnold. Everybody knows who we're talking about. And so, just seeing that, I remember it gave me so much liberation and so much freedom to be like, okay, like I'm here right now and I can leave this. Like I can grow out of it. I can go into different careers. And I think part of it was also that like I just felt like, oh, I started here and I have to stay here. I have to like keep on pushing in this. And then it's like hearing that I was like, no, I don't. And you can also do the gym and work construction. Because another thing for me is at that time I started going to the gym, And I remember like showing up there early, and then working out, and then going to construction, and then being like very exhausted at the end of the day. But I mean, now looking back, I'm like, dude, you just didn't know how to work. Like, like nowadays I'll have a 14-hour day, and I'm just like, yeah, that was good, like so. And then some days I'll have the 14-hour day, and I'm like, dude, I'm done. But like looking back now, it's like it's funny looking back at it. But like at that time, I remember it was just like, for me, it was like, oh man, like I'm working so hard. I'm working these 14-hour days, like I'm killing myself. And then just seeing Arnold talk about it, I was like, oh, you can sleep 6 hours, you can become the biggest bodybuilder of all time, and also run a construction company. It's like, oh, I don't think I'm doing enough. And it's like, also, he came to America without parents, without anybody. He also came at like the age of 18, I believe. I think it was, or 19. It was right after he went to the military. And I was like, okay, I'm just not doing enough. And so I just had to kind of, like, seeing that just lowered my expectations for what my life should look like. And then, yeah, I mean, I would say I have went very far since that time. And it's not that like it was necessarily Arnold that changed my life, but hearing that story was like, it was so impactful that even now, 3 years later, I remember it. I've never met Arnold, but hearing his story, hearing his biography was so inspirational. And I remember just listening to it, and immediately all this pressure that I felt like was like containing me from being happy just lifted off immediately. And I was like, oh, like I'm good to be happy now. I'm good to just like enjoy the path that I'm on. And like it's possible that I can make it. Like if he made it, I can make it. And like I have a little bit of a Russian accent, but like I don't have a stick of a German accent. And he made it as an actor, so like yeah, I mean and the reason I'm sharing this is, if you are also somebody who is deeply unhappy and deeply dissatisfied with your life, with the moment that you're at right now, and you don't even want to show up to your job, and you're so exhausted, just find somebody who had it worse. Like for me, like Arnold, the way I saw it, Arnold had it worse. And then look at your situation and be like, well, why can't I do this? And like for me personally, it gave me the freedom to be happy. Like I felt like I couldn't be happy unless I change it. And then when I realized that that's where he came from, and he is able to change it, and he was always talking about like just being excited to wake up and to do stuff every day, and just finding like even the little good things. I remember he was saying like the reason we did construction, and the reason why the guys at the gym liked going and doing concrete with me, is because they could work without shirts and get a tan. And I was like, dude, this guy literally just finds positivity in everything. Like he even finds positivity in pouring concrete. And so, yeah, I mean, just find somebody who's in a similar or worse situation, and that will allow you to be happy. It'll give you the freedom.